You guys see the title, man. Let's get to it.
Kobe didn't want to disappoint his fans, especially the ones in the 300 sections that saved up to watch him play, the kids with the same excitement he once had. I remember asking him why he couldn't just sit a game out because he was hurting. He said, "What about the fans that saved up to watch me play just once?" He never forgot about his fans. If he could help it, he would play every minute of every game. He loved you all so much.
Over the past 2 decades, we've seen a major shift in the attitude of players, management, as well as the owners. As when it comes to these players having guaranteed money, the motivation to play all 82 games and take pride in doing so simply isn't there like it was in past eras.
Let me see what they about to do about this. Like, I'm very excited for this title, I guess, because I've been seeing it. You know, I'm reacting like 4 days, man. I gotta get back on my shit.
Actually began with Spurs back in the early 2010s. As someone like Tim Duncan, Ginobili, even Tony Parker would sit out games here and there because they were aging. And look, when the Spurs did it, it wasn't some epidemic that was league-wide. It was solely a Spurs thing. But fast forward to 2023, it's spread everywhere and gotten 100 times worse. As nowadays guys who are only 23, 24, 25 years old are claiming rest and load management. And when it comes to playing back-to-backs, 3 games in 4 nights, they're going to sit out at least one of those games, almost guaranteed. And I think this past year in 2023, it was a tipping point for fans and even Adam Silver, as guys like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George sat out at least 1 game per week and wouldn't dare play back-to-backs. And someone like Mark Cuban, the owner of a team, shut down Kyrie and Luka Doncic late in the year for a draft pick. That move by Cuban was a disgrace to the game. And speaking of disgrace to the game, you have Ben Simmons, the greatest load manager of all time. As this guy load managed so hard, he actually got hurt and forgot to play basketball at an elite level.
Durant, give and go, Simmons, it's an air ball.
Now, to be fair to some of the players, this load management mentality isn't with every superstar. As some guys like Ant Edwards, Jason Tatum, they've called out their fellow stars for sitting games and practicing load management, because even they can recognize it's a disgrace to the game and insulting the fans who pay hard-earned money to watch these guys play. And finally, Adam Silver, who's just aloof as an NBA commissioner, stepped in and actually did something. As now,
but he did something?
NBA commissioner stepped in and actually did something. As now, when 2 stars sit on the same night, they'll get fined up to $100,000 depending on how often they do that. And look, it's about time this happened. These guys have guaranteed money. They sit out, they get paid. They play, they get paid. Doesn't matter. It's guaranteed.
Is that for the team? Is that a team fine?
Basketball at the pro level in the NBA,
I would think so.
It's a business and it's entertainment. I think the players, even Adam Silver, kind of forgot that in the past 5 years. As speaking for myself and many, if you're trying to go to an NBA game today, it's like planning a trip to Mars. Because first off, you got to look at the players. Are they hurt? Do they want to play? Is that guy banged up? Is it late in the year, early in the year? Are they on a road trip or back-to-back? You got to take all that into account.
That's ridiculous. Like, in my opinion, bro, you definitely shouldn't have to worry about that if you, you know what I'm saying, paying the full price to go see an NBA game, man. You know what I'm saying? These players got to be out there to hoop, bro, because that's just crazy. You know? Got to go through all that just for the player that you really want to see just to still might not be playing. Like, what?
Just to buy a ticket to an NBA game. And look, I do my due diligence. I look at all that stuff and still have gone to games where star players aren't playing. And when you're an average Joe, spending $100, $150, even $200 for one ticket, and the star doesn't play, it's basically burning your own money. Now, still looking at today's superstars, a lot of these guys, including myself, were big fans of Kobe. But the problem I see with a lot of these guys, of course they love talking about Kobe, telling stories about him, and especially wearing his shoes. But when it comes to actually playing basketball, there's a little bit of a disconnect between those guys and someone like Kobe. As I'll never forget back in 2013, when he was carrying the Lakers to the playoffs, this man was getting hurt virtually every other game. And versus Atlanta late in the season in 2013, he got a severe ankle injury and knee injury versus the Hawks. And this play today would have been a flagrant 2 and an ejection. Kobe, after that game, limping off the court, hurt his knee, his leg, still one night later came back versus Indiana and attempted to play. Now, unfortunately for Lakers fans, he only played one full quarter because the pain was simply too much. But I think for most stars today, if they were put in that situation, what they would have done, they would have sat out, called it quits, and not even suited up versus the Pacers. Number one, it's easier to do that. Number two, you don't want to hurt your stats. And number three, let's be honest, you're playing the Pacers in Indiana, not a big-time marquee game. And look, it may sound cliche saying...
I just want to say this, though. How effective do y'all think this to play on the bench $100 fine deal y'all think is going to be? How effective do y'all think this is going to be? My question. I don't think it's going... Well, it's a start. It's a good start. I think it's going to be pretty effective as of right now. You know, I feel like teams would probably be a little scared. You know what I'm saying? A little scared to get that fine. We're not trying to get fined $100K. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to get fined $100K. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna play by the rules for a little bit. But I feel like people will still find a way to work their way around it in some type of form. You know what I'm saying? But this is definitely a step in the right direction. If they keep taking preventative steps like this to stop load management, we good, bro. We good.
Man. But guys in the 90s, 2000s, even early 2010s, playing all 82 games, suiting up for the fans, it actually meant something. As someone like Allen Iverson, who's far from the biggest player, most intimidating player, from 97 to 08, played an average of 41.8 minutes per game. During that stretch, leading the entire league in minutes 7 different times. And over that decade span, Iverson, I mean, this dude had numerous injuries, was banged up constantly, and still suited up regardless. I mean, look at this 0-1 playoffs graphic. This dude had knee injuries, ankle problems, hurt his tailbone, sprained thumb. I mean, he had tons of injuries and still played. As in the 0-1 playoffs, he played a ridiculous 46.2 minutes per game. And look, when it comes to cross-era debates, you can debate which era is better, more talented, and more skilled.
That's different.
When it comes to cross-era debates, you can debate which era is better, more talented, and more skilled. We can debate that all day long. And what I will concede is the average player today is more skilled and more talented in general than the average guy 25 years ago.
Facts.
But what I won't listen to is someone arguing that today's players actually care more than guys back in the 90s.
Yeah. And that's one thing I've been saying, bro. If you was here for some of my past reactions on this topic, bro, I just feel like a lot of people are just not passionate about the game anymore, you know? They don't really love the game as much as they think they do, or something like that, bro. Because there's no way you're not out there to hoop and you're getting paid this well to do it. You know what I'm saying? This is a dream come true. There's no way, you know? I just feel like the passion for the game has been lost over the years, you know? Now kids just love what comes with the game more so than the love for the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, they love the fame, the you know what I'm saying? The money, all that. Like, all that's cool, but do you love the game of basketball, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Look at someone like James Harden. This dude purposely gets fat just to switch teams. Anthony Davis, anytime he goes in the paint, acts like JFK when he gets fouled.
That shit blows my eyes. AD got to chill with that, bro. You know, I'm a Lakers fan, I'm a LeBron fan, so Lakers got to win. You know what I'm saying?
Leonard
you need another
has
one.
set out numerous games due to a hangnail. Joel Embiid will dug Nikola Jokic in Denver out of risk losing the MVP. And someone like Ben Simmons simply doesn't want to play. All those guys in one degree or another are talented basketball players. But what I'm going to ask you guys, how can someone like John Stockton, this little white dude in nursing shoes, always suit up and always be healthy in the 1980s and 90s. I mean, look at this. From 85-97, John Stockton
only missed 4 games in 12 years.
Of 4 basketball games. And in his last 5 years in the NBA, John Stockton, from age 36 to 40.
Gotta respect that, bro. 4 games in 12 years, bro. 12 seasons, bro. 4 games. That's like 0.3 games a season, bro. He didn't even miss a game a season, bro.
Out of 403
Come on,
games.
Bro.
Why are players in 2023, with better medical help, better science, training, recovery, really better everything, not capable of doing something like John Stockton did over 25 years ago? Is it because they're worse players? I don't think so necessarily. Or is it because they simply don't care? And one thing I found recently on YouTube that was pretty enlightening was Michael Jordan back in the 2000s talking about the growing entitlement of younger NBA players, and how paying them these big contracts in essence would ruin the game.
And it's not even just NBA players, bro. The young stars coming up too, man. They very entitled, bro, and they're not fundamentally sound at all, bro. They don't box out. They look at every shot goes up. They looking. You know what I'm saying? If it's not the athleticism, they just gonna look at it. This shit is crazy, bro. Like, we got to get back to real basketball, bro.
Now, 20 years later, Jordan's quotes were kind of prophetic, as the NBA nowadays haven't had actual rules for playing games. That would have been unheard of back in Jordan, Kobe, and Iverson's era. And one last thing I do want to touch on when it comes to Jordan, even in his early career, 1986, having a broken leg, this guy wanted to play basketball so bad. He went against his coach, went against management, went against the owner to actually come back and play. And he was so pissed he wasn't getting minutes, he would have secret workouts at UNC Chapel Hill. That's how dedicated this guy was and how hungry he was to actually play basketball. And when the Bulls wanted tank, this guy said, "Not on my watch, we're making the playoffs, even as an 8 seed." Guys like a Jordan, Kobe, Iverson, those guys' mentality, of course, it's loved today by the players. When it comes to actually practicing what they preach, it's not going into effect. And hopefully Adam Silver putting these rules in changes things at least a little bit. It's a good rule,
I think it's...
but nonetheless kind of embarrassing that grown men have to be told to show up to work.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, bro. It's just the standard that is being set nowadays, bro. Like, people are so comfortable doing it because it's being allowed so much, you know. We gotta stop allowing the foolery, man. I ain't gonna lie. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Turn on post notifications, share the video with your peoples. 93% of y'all not subscribed, you know what I'm saying? It's been a long time since I said something like this, but 93% is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That means if, you know what I'm saying, at least 10% of y'all subscribe, that means that that's probably like at least 500 people, man. I need, like, you know what I'm saying? 93% of y'all is crazy, bro. In the last 28 days, like, come on, just hit that motherfucker. Hit that motherfucker right there. You know what I'm saying? Click on the last, yo, I'm out of here, man.